Hey everybody, I'm over here at my office here at the chapel, just sharing you some thoughts from my heart of this last week that I want to share on this Saturday morning. One of my favorite passages out of the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, says, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is God's faithfulness." And many of you know that passage. It's been a passage that's been close to my heart for a lot of years, and I think it's taken on new meaning for me the last few weeks, as all of us have been enduring just unbelievable changes just in the last 2 months. And it occurred to me the other day about God's love. It's never stopped. It's always been there. But many times we notice it when we're looking a lot harder. And I found that in my own life, is that when it says his love never ceases, those mercies are new every morning. The fact that I woke up this morning, the fact that I have a chance to live another day is God's mercy. And the question then, I think, becomes for all of us, especially for me, is what am I going to do with that blessing? What am I going to do with the mercy that God's given me? And I just think during this past week, and when I look back this past week, just the mercy I've had a chance to go out and live a life that tries to give more than take. And I think of the woman just the last 2 days that I visited who is dying. And, she's ready to go. She's at peace. She knows the Lord. We had a wonderful conversation. We both know no matter what happens that we will see each other again. As hard as it is to say goodbye to somebody, I still feel a great sense of peace about it, because I know for a Christian, there never really is a goodbye. There's a see you tomorrow. I think of the funeral that we planned this past week for Sue Mason, longtime member, wonderful soul from England. I always loved my conversations with her, a God's good volunteer. She was also ready. She died this past week. She was also ready to go. And it's just a wonderful thing, even when we say goodbye to people, when you know they have faith, that is the reason why we believe in the resurrection, because we know there's not an end. Just yesterday, or rather on Thursday afternoon, I participated in it was the 4-year anniversary of the death of Ray Sulak, who many of you know died in a hit-and-run accident, and certainly changed my life and so many people in this community. But yesterday we got a chance to give a money that we had gotten over the year from the Bobcat Scorcher, the race we ran back this past summer that many people and businesses gave to. We were able to give several thousands of dollars to the scholarship fund that will enable to give scholarships to 2020 graduates from May River, from Bluffton High, from Hilton Head. We'll be able to give college scholarships to some of these children because of that. It was a wonderful time being there yesterday and participating in that. Even in a time of real sadness, I felt hopefulness. I felt there was something born out of this that is helping people. On Friday, yesterday, I took my 9-year-old and my 5-year-old over to a thrift shop, many of you are aware of, and they were looking for presents for their mother for Mother's Day. They got a lot of things that probably Mama will not be able to use, but they got it with their heart. They loved it. They were happy about it. It was fun being a part of that, and so I felt great blessing being a part of that. And just this last couple of days, I'm so close to so many of the graduates this year from May River and from Bluffton High. My own son being one of them. They're graduating. They're going off to college, Lord willing, hopefully later this summer or in the early fall. And the church decided that we wanted to, because they've in some sense lost their graduation, what the church is doing, our church is doing, is all those young people, young men and women who have been part of our church one way or the other, whether they're a part of the membership, they've attended youth group, they have attended retreats with us, one way or another, or I've had a personal ministry too through coaching cross country, that we are going to fund having a this coming Saturday, really a week from today, we are going to have graduation pics for them over on the bluff and over at the church, so they can have their cap and gown with pictures to remember about, maybe to be with their friends. Obviously, with the social distancing, we're working real hard on that. But what's interesting is when I started asking these young people, do you want to do this? They were so excited about it. And only because we have the money in the church that we can do something like this as a gift to these young people who, they're really bummed about losing graduation. Well, this is the one thing that I think that's a blessing, that's going to be something they can look back and say, that church did something for me. And so many of you are part of that. And so it's just a lot of exciting things. If you look around at the mercies, God's blessings, God's grace is really all around us if we're looking for them. And I just want to encourage you, those this morning who may be watching this, to feel encouraged, even though it's really easy to look around and see all that we're missing. I think that's normal, because this is not the way it's supposed to be, the way God really designed it in the beginning, in the garden, before the fall. We didn't have pandemics. We didn't have death. We didn't have disease. We didn't have cancer. We didn't have depression. And the reason we notice all these things is because we came from a place where it was never like that. And yet my great hope is that we know eventually one day it will not be like that. God's going to wipe that all clean. So there'll be no more tears, no more crying, no more sighing, but life everlasting. Until then, my prayer for you is that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never end. They're new every morning. And look for those things. Just as I was talking about this